our work is not going to succeed unless you leave here with some of your faith shaken in prayer. Unless you can commence to feel a doubt and an uncertainty about your prayer, your work will not succeed. There is no way to add new wine to old bottles. And if your prayers up to this moment have not brought you the harmony, the good that you have expected, then you may be assured of this, that there must be a cleaning out of your idea of prayer, an overcoming of it. Now, it is a good thing to lose faith. It is a wonderful thing to lose faith, not only in prayer, but progress, spiritual progress, only comes when you begin to lose faith in God. No one can make spiritual progress until they first come to a place of losing faith in God. Why? The God you're losing faith in isn't God at all. If it were God, there would be such certainty, conviction, and demonstration present that there would be no reason to lose faith. What we lose faith in always is not a thing or person, but our concept of them. Oh, many times we think, I have lost my faith in my friend. No, your friend is perfect. Your friend is all right. Now you've begun to lose faith in your concept of your friend. You lose faith in your government. Yes, lots have in this last quarter century lost faith in their government. Not only in other governments, but in this government here in this country. Why? Is there anything wrong with government? Oh no, government is eternal. Government is perfect. Government is on God's shoulder. Government is spiritual. What are we losing faith in? Our concept of government. Are we losing faith in capitalism? Let me assure you that it would be impossible to lose faith in capitalism, because capitalism is a spiritual activity of God sent straight from the throne of God. Why are we losing faith in it? We aren't. We're losing faith in our concept of it, in our misuse of it, in our abuse of it, in our misunderstanding of it. Oh no, God is all right. Capitalism is all right. Government is all right. Your friend and mine is all right. Our concept of them is wrong. And until you lose your faith in your concept of them, you cannot begin to understand the true nature of God, of government, of capitalism, or of anything else that exists on the face of the earth. At one time, I had the feeling of fear, because I really did lose my faith in God. I lost it partially, but because it was only partial, I had to lose it several times until I came to that point of transition when I lost it completely. And I said, I'm willing to acknowledge now that I have no more faith in it. I don't believe in it, and I expect nothing of it. And when I came to that absolute that absolute point of the end, then it was I saw, of course, you have right to lose faith. What did that God ever do for you? What has that God done to give any evidence that it is God? Oh, a wonderful thing to lose faith in that. You know, I suspect it wasn't God you were worshiping, but a concept of God, some idea you had of God. And then, of course, when you analyze it, you find it was a little mixture of Santa Claus and Mama and Papa and a disciplinarian, a school teacher perhaps, or a little combination of all the very severe human things, some very loving and some very ugly. but a little touch of each, and God isn't that at all. And so when faith is completely lost in that, then is when the first glimpse comes of the true nature of God. And so with prayer. Go out of this room tonight, if necessary, crying. If you stay up all night with tears, it will be wonderful. If only you can be shaken to your foundation so that you utterly lose faith in prayer, and then come to the throne and say, Father, how does one pray? What is prayer? How do we come into thy grace? And then you'll find a whole new vision opening, a whole new idea opening, a whole new life, a whole new vision. And you'll begin to see this. Whenever you want to pray, ask yourself, what is my motive? Why do I want this for which I'm praying? And watch how many times that it is to satisfy some personal sense. Something that may bless you but not the world. Something that may be for your personal good but not your neighbor's. And that is when you'll know why your prayers have not been answered. Now, we're going to meditate. Meditate with me now. And in this meditation, be still. Be still and realize, Father, I'm seeking nothing. I come to the throne with pure hands. Nothing am I seeking but God. To know thee aright is life eternal. Let me know thee. Acquaint now thyself with him. Figuratively, I am on my knees before the throne of grace, and with no desire, my heart is clean. I have no desire but to know thee, to walk in thy light, to be thy hands and thy feet, to be the instrument of thy life, thy purity. Teach me. Every knee must bend to God. Teach me. Let thy light shine upon me. Let thy grace flow through me to the world, to all the world of saints and the world of sinners, the world of the good and the world of the bad, the world of the up and the world of the down. Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. I know not how to pray. Let thy Spirit bear intercession with my spirit. Let thy life be one with mine, and my life one with thine. In spiritual union with thee, there is strength. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof. The silver is his, and the gold is his. Take it, Father. Take it and take me. Let there be no me to have a desire or a need or a fulfillment. Let there be no me. Let there be only thee. So that when the world looks upon me, I will know that they're not seeing me, they are seeing him that sent me. And you feel in this meditation that there are no enemies, there is nothing to oppose, nothing to hinder. Oppose whom? Hinder whom? God. God. You see, there is no me. There is no me in this meditation. And there is no power apart from God. There is no selfhood apart from God. There is no motive apart from God, and there is no will apart from God. There is no being apart from God. There is no body apart from God. The body is the temple of the living God. We are taking ourselves up to the mountain for wood, for substance, inspiration, wisdom, learning. As we receive divine grace, it isn't we who receive it. It is God who bestows it in expression. There is no we. There is no me. There is only the grace of God. All consciousness is filled with the grace of God. The Spirit of God is in human consciousness, dispelling these illusions of sense. The grace of God is in human consciousness, revealing God alone as presence, as power. No. We know no such thing as bless me, or prosper me, or bless him, or bless her. Oh no, that was for the now I lay me down to sleep days of bless my mama and bless my papa. No. No, in God's presence, there are none to be blessed. In God's presence, there are none that have ever been unblessed. We seek for nothing but the realization of God's grace touching human consciousness. The realization of God filling the universe with God's own presence. No more God filling me, God filling the universe with God's own presence. God is cosmic being, the only being, the infinite being, the all-being. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The silver is his and the gold is his. And we are his. If so be that the grace of God is realized in you, you may give yourself up to him. You may dedicate yourself to him. You may know that forever after you are not your own, but his. If so be this vision touches the center of your heart so that you are responding to it and feeling the depth of it within you, you can give yourself up. And never again walk the earth alone. Moments of doubt, yes. Moments of fear, yes. A sense of separation sometimes, yes. An inability to hear the still small voice, yes. All of these things will come upon us many times. They are of no importance. We brush them aside as we do a little dust on our clothes. Yet a little while and the sun dispels the clouds, and the clouds are no more. Clouds of doubt, clouds of fear, clouds of self. The big picture is in the frame. There is no will but the will of God. And the will of God is eternally good for the Son of God. There is no love but the love of God. Do not try to be loving. Do not try to be forgiving. Only God can love. Only God can forgive. It is enough that you understand that God is love. You need make no effort to love anyone or to forgive anyone. It is enough to know that God is love, and God's love is shining upon the just and upon the unjust. Oh yes, you have been told to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more just, to be more patient, to be more cooperative. And now I say unto you, forget all these things. Don't try to be any of them. Just be satisfied to know that God is love, and God holds the entire universe in that love. Forgiveness is an activity of God. You don't have to forgive. God will do all the forgiving. Just know that everyone comes under the grace of God's forgiveness. You can't be fair. You can't be cooperative. Only God can be fair, and only God can be cooperative. Therefore know that God is fair and God is cooperative throughout this universe, equally everywhere present as fairness and cooperativeness. When you know this, God's love will flow through you. You won't be loving. God will be loving through you. You won't be forgiving. God will be forgiving through you. God, God, God. And if there is no you, God still will be love, and God still will be forgiveness. Yes, there are those in our experience to whom we have not shown the love that we should have shown. And the opportunity is past. We cannot make it up. But we can do this. We can know that it is not important, since God's love has never been withdrawn from those we think we have withheld love from. God's love and God's care and God's will and God's grace has never been withheld. If you have the belief that you have withheld good from some, that you have withheld love, forgiveness, cooperativeness, fairness, justice, absolve yourself now. Give up all sense of condemnation now. And remember this, that it never was important one way or the other. No one in this world has ever been removed from the love of God, the grace of God, the person of God, the life of God, the soul of God. It has always been an error to believe that we could love, or that we could be just, or that we could be merciful or kind or forgiving. Now release ourselves from all sense of condemnation and realize that God's love has never left the Son of God. Remember the experience of the prodigal. No matter how much harm he was doing to himself, and no matter how much his brother would like to have seen withheld from the prodigal son, nevertheless, the Father held nothing back. So it is with us. Whatever we may seem to have held back is past. God never held back. And so the prodigal was always on the receiving end from the Father, even when we would have withheld. Never believe now that you have the power to give, or that you have the power to withhold. Never believe that you have the responsibility to give, or the responsibility to withhold. God's grace is my sufficiency in all things. God's grace is thy sufficiency in all things. Pray every day, God's grace is thy sufficiency in all things. And then whatever we as humans may not be able to do that we think we would like to do will be made up through our prayer, through our realization. Even though we cannot do what we ought, nevertheless, God's grace is thy sufficiency. God will not withhold from you. God will not withhold from the world. God will not withhold from those to whom you are in debt. Pray every day, thy grace is my sufficiency, thy grace is their sufficiency. This is clothing the world in spiritual grace. Silver and gold, we have very little to give the world. But such as I have, I can give thee. And what have I? The realization of God's grace as being an all-sufficiency. There is no one receiving God's grace and yet in lack. Therefore, pray the prayer of God's grace being sufficiency. And what you can't give in gold and silver will be supplied by God's grace. in your meditations, remember, it isn't only that you're not seeking of God, you are not seeking of each other. Your meditation is a realization of the is. God's grace is. Cosmic law is. Harmony is. No one is dependent on God. God just is flowing forth abundantly. No one is dependent upon prayer. Prayer is a realization of the universal nature of the good that already is. Just to know that 2 times 2 is 4 is great prayer, deep prayer. Because you know it isn't dependent on man, and it isn't dependent on some God. It's an is. It's a state of being. It is that which forever has been and always will be, and is dependent on nothing. He hangeth the world upon nothing. It just is an is. This earth, revolving in space, is dependent on nothing. It is. Can God stop it? Not any more than God can start it. It's a state of being. In the beginning, God, and in the beginning, all it is the image and likeness, the expression and manifestation of God. This world revolves, this earth revolves, because it revolves, and for no other reason. There is nothing to start it revolving, and there's nothing to stop it revolving. It revolves because it revolves, because it's the nature of it to revolve from the beginning of time unto the end of time. Nothing and no one is maintaining do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. They exist as a principle in expression. Since when? When were they created as do, re, mi? They weren't created. They coexist with God. They are God itself in expression. All it is God itself in expression. He hangeth the world on nothing. Do you feel, as you meditate, that if you were seeking something, that it would only be because above your head there was a sense of separation? Don't seek, acknowledge. Acknowledge God is forever manifest. God is forever here and now. The place whereon I stand is holy ground because God is there. Acknowledge that the silver is the Lord's and the gold is the Lord's, and it is in good keeping. Acknowledge that because of God's allness, there are no other powers, therefore we do not seek God to overcome, destroy, remove. What? There is no power apart from God. Remember, in this meditation, that we are not dealing with some concept of God. We know not the name of God, nor can we describe the nature of God, except that we have seen that God is fulfillment. God is forever fulfilling itself. God is fulfilling its own destiny, its own law, its own being, its own substance. Beyond that, we know little. And so we have no concept of God. We just know that God is. Because we know that God is, we know that all is, and all is good. Good is all. Now see that in this meditation there is a form of prayer. And that prayer has nothing to do with going to God for anything. See now this form of prayer, which is an acknowledgement, a resting, a relaxing. 2 times 2 already is 4. The sun already is shining. Do, re, mi already is. The law of like begetting like already is. The infinity of supply already is. Do you doubt it? Let us in this silence look out in the world and begin to count the pieces of fruit on fruit trees, the vegetables in the gardens, the fish in the sea, the stars in the sky, and then doubt God's abundance already expressed and manifest on earth as it is in heaven. So we neither go to God for supply, nor for help, nor for good. We go to God in the restful acknowledgement of His being, of His presence, of His jurisdiction of this world. Do you see that as you come to God in this purity, how you feel? That you understand more than ever the sacredness of God and the secretness of God. You see now why the Master has told us to pray in secret and not to let our good be known of men, not to pray that others may see us at prayer, not to give benevolences that we may be admired and thanked. Do you feel what it means to be in this sacred presence and to realize how secret it is? That is why the mystics of the world have never been able to tell us their innermost secrets, because they had audience with God. Let us rest. This is what comes. Insecurity. Insecurity comes because our dependence is on something in the external for our security. And no matter what it is that we ever receive or achieve in the external, it never quite stands up in ability to perform a function of security. The only reason we experience insecurity is that we are thinking of the absence of something that would make for security, and therein lies the mistake. When insecurity comes, when the feeling of insecurity comes, that is the time to realize that nothing in the external world could produce security or give us security. This is important. This is much more important than it sounds, because this is being given to me inside, and it is for a purpose. The whole world today is insecure, but it is insecure because it thinks there is an impending war, or it thinks there is an impending financial depression, or it thinks there is an impending unemployment situation. The insecurity has come into the consciousness of the world because something out in the world is about to be taken from it. And so the world is insecure. It has a feeling of insecurity. If that comes to you, will you remember that nothing and nobody in the external realm can ever give you or assure you of security, since security must be found within your own being, and it will never be found except in the realization of God as your fortress, as your high tower, as your abiding place, as your meat, as your wine, as your water, as your bread of life. God will not give you bread of life. God will not give you water or home or security. God is bread and wine and water and security, and do not seek for any of these separate and apart from God itself. Seek only God, and let God appear as these. And so, watch out. Watch out in these days to come that you hold yourself a people apart from the world's fears, so as to be a light unto at least as many of them as will see the light that you are. You can only be the light by sensing a sense of insecurity, of unrest, of unpeace, and then coming to the realization that this has come upon you because your peace has been dependent on a person or condition or circumstance. Your security has been dependent on a person or thing or circumstance. Your good in any form or every form has been, and now comes the sense of unrest because it appears to be slipping away. It appears to be taken away from us. It looks as if dire disaster is to come upon us. Why? Will there be less of God? Will there be less of good? Will there be less of the Christ? What is the Christ? Come. What is the Christ? Is the Christ something that began 2,000 years ago, or is it true that before Abraham was, I am? And so we know that Christ was with Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Christ was before the Hebrew era. Christ is simultaneous with God. And where is Christ? In individual consciousness. It is individual salvation. It is that which will raise up this temple even if you destroy it. It is that which multiplies loaves and fishes. It is the little stranger within every one of us awaiting recognition as friend. The peace, the harmonies, the joys, all of these have been given to us by persons, circumstances, and conditions. And for everyone on the spiritual path, these are taken away. We lose mother and father and sister and brother for my sake. We leave home. We leave our nets. In other words, we leave nothing and we leave nobody. We give up our concepts of these. and understand that they no longer are persons external to us or conditions external to us. They are states of our own godhood. Do you not know that we are father, and we are son, and we are brothers, and we are friends, and we are husbands? What? Am I all of these things? Yes, and it's still only I. Why? These are facets, phases of one individual selfhood. And so too, you are mothers, and you are wives, and you are daughters. Isn't that strange? You're both mother and daughter. Yes, you are mothers and daughters, all in one. All in one. These are different activities of your being. And so God, divine grace, is bread and wine and water and meat. And God is fortress, and God is high tower. And God is an abiding place. God is a shelter. And the activity of God is the Christ in our own consciousness. The activity of God in our consciousness is the very Christ revealing this truth. What shall we now depend on? Mother, father, sister, brother? Wine, water, bread, meat? No. On the Christ. On the realization that within our own being is the infinity of good, then let it appear. Always a sense of security or a lack of peace is based on something missing in our outer experience. Now, to restore peace, to restore harmony, begin to realize that that person, that thing, never was the source of your security, of your peace, of your happiness, that always the Son of God in you has been the multiplier of loaves and fishes, the healer. Insecurity, I repeat, insecurity is always based on a sense of separation from something in the external realm. Security is realized as we understand that the fount of our good is within us, the source of our good, the activity of our good. This restores peace and security. There, then, is a resting in a cosmic truth. The kingdom of God within is a cosmic truth. The Son of God, the realization of the Son of God, is a cosmic truth. Rest in it and find peace and security. Remember Paul, who says that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Did you know that most of our troubles are brought about because we entertain a thought that deservedly we are separated from God, that God has withdrawn its good from us, that some act of omission or commission has brought about a separation and we are no longer in God's grace? Did you know that most of our troubles come because we believe that for some reason we have become separated from the love of God? But Paul restores our understanding when he says to us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Not sin, not poverty, not lack, not death can separate us from the love of God. Reestablish yourself in the realization that whether saint or sinner, you have never been separated from the love of God. Even so, the Master tells us that God is more pleased with one sinner restored than 99 others who don't need reforming. And so from that alone we can take consolation that probably God is a whit more generous to the prodigal son even than to the one who never left home. So probably our very waywardness has brought to us a greater love of God than if we had always been righteous. Never accept for yourself a sense of separation from God, even when you feel that you deserve it because of some act of commission or of omission. Cling the more steadily to God, the greater the sense of separation. The greater the sense of separation, the greater must be the clinging to the realization, oh, no, I and the Father are one. I will never leave you nor forsake you. As I was with Abraham, so I will be with you. I am with you unto the end of the world. In this lies our security, our peace, our salvation, our redemption. Many thought that Jesus had become separated from his Father when they saw him on the crucifix. No, he was as close to God as he had ever been, and it didn't take him many days to prove it. Sometimes the discords and the inharmonies of our experience might tempt us to believe that we have become separated from God, when that very discord and inharmony is bringing us closer to God than ever we would have been had we gone along life on a smooth path. More people have found God in battle than ever found God in peace. More people have found God in sin and disease than ever found him in ordinary righteousness. You know that in our goodhood, whether it's our good morals or our good supply or our good health, we get along pretty well without too much of God. And therein lies the sense of separation from God. It takes the discords and inharmonies and insecurities to remind us that we have placed our faith in the external. And so we are brought back to the realization that only in here lies the source of peace, harmony, wholeness, perfection, and security. You see, when you face the problem in this way, bringing it, don't deny it and don't hide from it. Bring it out into the open and look at it in security, in harmony, whatever it may be. Look at it. And then let it tell you its story. And pretty soon you'll see that it tells you where is your faith. What is it you're afraid of losing? It may even be that you're afraid of losing your life. Why? Does it make any difference whether you live in one state or another, one country or another, or one plane of existence or another? God is individual life. Why be afraid of any change of consciousness? It is always for the better. The worm becomes the butterfly. When you examine what is it I am fearing? What is it I'm fearing? Don't be a metaphysician and go around and deny fear. And don't go around and say there is no fear and there's nothing to fear. Don't do those things. Take your fear right up here and face it. There is a fear, and I'm afraid. What of? Very soon the answer will come. Something or somebody external to yourself. Then you can smile. And then you can say, why? The kingdom of God is within me. Why shall I fear man whose breath is in his nostril? Don't be afraid of your fears. Don't hide them. Bring them up here and look at them until the still small voice tells you what you're fearing, and always it'll be something or somebody out here. Death. All right, so I'm fearing death. I acknowledge it. Now what about it? Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. What is the truth about death? I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. Well, it's happened to others. How do we know? No one's ever told us that it did. No one yet has ever told us that they've died. So how do we know they have? Now we're worse off than we were before. And so we face our fear. And all of a sudden we learn what? We're afraid of a change. We want to hold on. We want to hold on to our present form, like we want to hold on to a seed. Why? Because we're afraid it might grow into a tree with fruit. Well, you can't have your tree with fruit unless you bury your seed and let it die. You can't have a butterfly unless you let your worm bury itself in a cocoon and come to life again in a new form. Yet, what do we want? We want to hold on to our yesterdays. We want to hold on to our concepts of our form instead of releasing them, loosing them. Let them go. All concept, all form. Why, manna is fresh every minute of every hour. Don't fear death. Don't fear disease. Don't fear sin. These are forms only. And every form must break in order that the formless be renewed with new form. If you destroy this form, this temple, in 3 days I will raise it up again. And so it is if you destroy the temple of my body or the temple of my wealth or the temple of my health, let these forms disappear and new ones appear. Why must we have yesterday's manna? Why must we have the same forms we had yesterday? No. Face life with the understanding. Well, face it with the eyes closed so that you do not see any form. And then realize this: I am here. And then go back 10 years in your memory and say, yes, I am here. And go back to your childhood days and you'll say, I am here. And look forward until you're 80, 90, or 100 and you'll still say, I am here. And maybe someday you'll have the experience of thinking you're dying and you'll say, I am dying. Isn't that a strange statement? I am dying. I am standing here watching it take place. But you see, I is never extinct. I stands right there watching it, or sitting there or lying there, watching it take place. I never disappear. I am always I. I was I at birth. I was I as I came into this world. And I will be I as I seem to go out from this world. Always there will be an I, and always I will be that I. And so I fear moving from California to Hawaii, or Hawaii to Alaska, or to this state of consciousness or that. Sometimes, in years gone by, when I so very much disliked the thought of death, I did get a momentary consolation from the fact that even the great ones like Buddha and Lao Tse and Jesus and John, all of those passed through that transition, and I thought, if they could take it, I can too. Now I know something better. I know that they never died. And I know that no one on the face of the globe has ever died. And I know that we can never die. There will always be I watching this parade. Just as you can go and you can manicure your nails and see them drop on the floor and later on into the fire, cut your hair and see it go tear off some skin, so one day you will be willing to see the whole body change its form while you stand there watching as the new form appears. And so remember, fears, insecurity, all have to do with a changing outer universe that we fear to see go. Don't fear it. Stand back and watch it. There is that within you which will raise you up again.